Hi everyone, good afternoon. I'm Sarah Grace and we're here with House of Medics.
And Alexandra, hiya.
And we are so excited to talk all things weight loss. We've got an amazing med student with us today. So just to begin, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your social media, what you do, what your goal is, all that kind of stuff?
Okay, so I think like many people, I have like struggled with my weight like my whole life, like up and down, up and down. And one thing about me, I love a weight loss transformation so much. But what I felt was missing was a lot of the people that I was inspired by, I would see their post journey. And I just thought to myself, it's so like nerve-wracking to show everything from the beginning, but I'm going to do it.
Right.
I'm going to just show it from the beginning because I would have loved to have seen someone's journey from the beginning, their trials and tribulations, their ups and downs and how they made it. So I just thought I'm going to just put myself out there and just document the entire journey. And I also love consuming social media. So I thought, why don't I contribute?
Right.
It's not always the other end. And that coupled with the science behind everything, being a med student, I love understanding why things have to be the way they are. Like, I'm super curious.
Yeah.
So I just thought to myself, well, let me find out, because something's not adding up with the weight loss story for me. Like, I mean, on the surface, it's like, oh, calories in, calories out. But I feel like I've been doing that. Something's not quite right. So I need to learn more. I need to understand more. And that's when I came across like gut health, hormonal health, and that impact. And then I just was documenting it, talking about the science. And yeah, just my following just grew and grew. And I really want to share what I experienced so that people kind of don't have to go through the back and forth like I did. So yeah, so that's how I'm here.
That's amazing. So you mentioned gut health and hormonal health. Is that an emphasis that you kind of focus on when it comes to weight loss rather than just, eating sweet potato instead of rice and stuff like that?
Yes, most definitely. Because your gut health is basically at the root of your hormonal health. Good gut health means good hormonal health. Means everything kind of falls into place. What my pursuit was weight loss. So that's when I discovered that, things like leptin, insulin, ghrelin, GLP-1s, how they all interplay and support your weight loss. And a lot of that starts in your gut before anywhere else, because they then influence everything. So when I improved my gut health, unintentionally, that's what helped me with my weight loss, and that's what everything fell into place from there.
So your goal was improved health generally, your gut health, and then weight loss was an added bonus?
Well, no, weight loss was my goal.
Okay.
Because at my top weight, I think I was like 139 kilos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was, definitely weight loss was my goal. But on the journey, then I discovered all these other benefits I was getting, like my gut health, my sleep, my cognition, the brain fog, everything else was coming. The more I was reading, the more I was learning, the more I was adapting, the more I realized that there were so many things linked to improving my overall hormonal and gut health that I was benefiting from.
So would you say that your goals kind of evolved over time? Like it became it was firstly very, I want to be slimmer, and then you kind of figured out that there's a lot more to it than just...
Exactly that.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. So what do you think's like initiated your weight loss journey? Not just obviously wanting to look, but what is it that said that you woke up one day and was just like, I've decided to take my health seriously?
So I was struggling. Well, I guess if you start from when I was quite young, my personal opinion is we live in a generally fat-phobic society. So I didn't want to be big because I didn't want to be bullied or looked down on. So that was probably when I was much younger. But after constantly yo-yo dieting, that evolved into like a self-hate aspect.
Is that bouncing between diets?
That's right.
Right, cool.
And then and weight loss journeys. And then I got to a point a few years ago that I was just like, hating myself is exhausting. I don't like this space.
Very tiring.
I don't like this mental space of hating myself. It's just, it doesn't even make sense to me. Like, this is who I am. This is the body I'm in. Why should I hate myself, how I look and how I am?
Yeah.
And then I also thought to myself that how I look isn't a measure of my value.
Right.
So then I just thought to myself, I do want to be slim, but it's not only because I want to look a certain way because this is an aesthetic I want, but much more because I want to be stronger, I want to be healthier, I want to be fitter, I want to be able to squat and comfortably stay squatted for a long time. Yeah. I want strength in my body.
Yeah.
So when I
pivoted in that mindset and practiced more self-love, that's when I thought, okay, if I'm going to pursue this weight loss journey, how am I going to do this properly? This is not, I'm not chasing an aesthetic. I want to actually improve my health holistically. And then I remember also talking to my dad about it before he passed. And he was like, he was more worried from a father's point of view, like, at this size, you're not healthy and you're struggling. So I also want you to do something about it. So he actually really encouraged me to go on walks. It was at a point where we were knocking heads because I was like, I don't want to go out for a walk.
People underestimate the power of walking.
Well, I have my dad to thank for that.
Guys, walking is forget the running and the gym. Go on, like, do 10K steps a day. You will shed weight like you've never seen before.
Yeah,
like,
literally.
walking is so good.
It's super underrated.
Yeah.
And I think it's underrated because I think people think that they have to be sweating it out to achieve weight loss.
Yeah.
Whereas the power of walking is not necessarily the movement. Well, no, it's the movement. But the walking it's not about the sweating. It's about the hormonal change. When you're walking, you're taking up glucose. When you take up glucose without insulin, it means your body doesn't have to produce as much insulin. When your body doesn't produce as much insulin, you get leptin sensitivity. What that means is your body can read leptin. Your body measures your weight through leptin. So if your body is able to measure leptin, it can assess whether you're overweight, underweight, or a normal weight. If it can assess that you're overweight, it will manage your metabolism so that you burn fat. And that's why walking is effective, because it will impact a hormonal change. So walking after you eat, walking 10K, like you said, just constantly moving your body, all that means is you don't have to produce as much insulin, which affects leptin, which helps with weight loss. So, of course, cardiovascular strength is important with the running, with the swimming and all of that sort of thing. But constant motion affects your metabolism and affects your insulin long term and your leptin, which is why it's so effective for weight loss.
So is walking is good for like insulin resistance, like to help against
Exactly that.
Okay.
Exactly that.
I did not know that.
And it's because you can do it constantly. You can't run all day long. You can't swim all day long, but you can
do
walk.
10 minutes.
Yeah. But you can walk all day long.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I literally didn't even know. I thought it was just because you're moving your body and it's like a slow version of running. That's why it was impacting.
We're actually perfectly engineered to walk as humans. Yeah. That's how we traveled. That's how we migrated. That's how we moved.
I hope we're all going to go on a walk after watching this.
We could go and walk right now.
No, should we do this on the move? We can take the mics outside. So what are some of the biggest challenges you faced in your weight loss journey? And I want you to encompass everything, because obviously you're a black woman, you're a med student. Also, what year in med school are you?
I'm in my second year.
Second year, okay. You're a black woman, you're a med student, even coming onto social media and choosing to document your journey. One thing I've realized as someone who also does content, putting yourself on social media is you have to have thick skin. Because you're always going to there's always going to be some comments or some opinions. So what are some of the biggest challenges you faced in not only your journey, but also choosing to be vulnerable and documenting your journey and being open with it?
Okay. So I would say the challenge in the first instance was being accused constantly of using weight loss drugs and weight loss surgery.
But they love them Ozempic allegations.
Yeah, allegations. I was accused a lot of that. And I think it's because we live in an environment where losing weight naturally is very difficult. It's very difficult because the food environment we live in, like with the ultra-processed foods, they all cause weight gain. And then I think everyone thinks that if you're not sweating it out, you can't lose weight. But because of our lifestyles in terms of, everyone's working full time, there's parents, people are very, very busy. So when am I supposed to do all of this working out? So the food and the activity is very difficult to achieve. So I think people then think, if you've then achieved it, obviously they're looking through their own lens, it's not possible. How did you go through all of this and still achieve it? And so I understand that, but also there is a misunderstanding that I didn't have to go through all that struggle, actually. It was relatively easy once I understood what I had to do. So, but I think a lot of people don't know that or understand that. That's why they come with those accusations and those allegations. Also, it also puts me in a place where, personally, I don't think people should be vilified for using weight loss surgery or weight loss drugs, because my opinion is obesity in the environment that we currently live in is a disease.
Yeah.
Because our environment makes it so difficult to escape this lifestyle that of course we can gain weight. There is a reason why 64% of us in the UK are overweight or obese. That's not because we haven't, it's high.
Crazy statistic.
It's very high. And that's not because the majority of us are lazy or not moving or everything like that. It's because the environment we live in is engineered for us not to be able to do those things. So the more I read, the more I understood, the more I was able to apply those things to myself. So I understand why people would think it's impossible, because they're not understanding what I now know.
And we're not seeing healthy examples around them either.
There's that too, exactly. Because if there was more people who were learning, understanding, reading some of the things I'm reading, I think it would, because there are some people in my comments that are like, yeah, I know what she's talking about because I've also read this book, I've also read this paper. So then they can understand how I've applied it to myself. So it's definitely that challenge. And then also there was the challenge, like you said, not seeing people that look like myself achieve what I've achieved. Because obviously representation matters, because when you see yourself or see something that, so somebody who looks like you, then you feel that, oh, I can achieve this. It's actually part of why Dr. Emma really, really inspires me also.
Me too.
From House of Medics. Because
great.
just to see how accomplished she is and how driven she is, it's just like, oh, I can be like that, I can do that too.
Yeah.
So it definitely helps to see yourself reflected.
Yeah, for sure.
And I would say the other challenge actually is just time management for me personally, between med school, between do my steps, between content creation. It's just a lot of time, and there's a lot of pressure from viewers and subscribers and followers, well-meaning, well-intentioned.
To be consistent.
Exactly.
I can contest to that.
Yeah.
Because I'm a biomedical science student.
Okay.
And a lot of times people, anytime I post something to do with uni, people will be like, I forget you're a student. I'm like, same, sometimes. They'll be like, or people will DM me like, oh, you know, if you're not posted in 3 days, where's the content?
3 days.
And I'm like, yeah, because I'm meant to post like every day or at least every other day. And I'm not posting in 3 days. And they're like, so how far? There was this vlog I posted 6 months late. And someone was just like, we've been waiting for this since last year.
They know the times as well.
Yeah. As in someone said, since this day, we're expecting it on this date, 6 months. And I'm just like, y'all don't understand. I'm trying to stay healthy. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to be in full-time ministry. I'm trying to do this. I'm a uni student. Balancing can really affect your ability to be healthy. Yeah. Because fast food is faster. That's literally in the name. It's easier to get. That's why a lot of people will gravitate towards it. It's convenient. Anything that's convenient, the quality is always going to be lower, and that comes down to food as well. So, yeah.
The thing is, though, it doesn't have to be. We just live in an environment where it's become that way.
Very true.
Yeah. So you have to make the convenience, you have to make the healthy choice convenient. Like with me, I've gotten into the habit in the last year. I will carry like a jar of nuts with me because it's that difficult to get food that isn't ultra processed as a snack. So right now, like in my bag, I have a jar of nuts. I have a fruit and nut bar that is compressed rather than ultra processed to be made. I have water on me, and I have an energy drink. Like I carry those things with me like I'm a 6-year-old whose mum has taken care of everything. So that when I'm out, I don't have to make the non-healthy choice.
This is so inspiring. I have strawberry laces in my bag. God help me. So how do you manage to stay consistent? What drives you? Because it's not every day. So for example, last year there was a 3-month period where I was on my Zoom. I lost like 7 kgs. I think it was like maybe even 8. I was going to the gym every single day. I was eating rice cakes and peanut butter. I was eating like very healthy. And then
let me ask you, did you enjoy that?
I loved it. The food was great. And I felt so happy and so healthy in that time. Right. But then all it took was one day. Just the day one that I like dropped consistency, I spiraled. And now I've been paying for a gym membership. I've not been attending. But, that's between me and Halifax. But anyways, how do you stay consistent and find a routine that is sustainable and it doesn't feel like this culture of like punishing yourself in order to get your results?
Well, that's actually exactly it. I don't do anything that I find punishing. My entire lifestyle now is everything that I want to be doing. So there isn't I don't have the mindset where I feel like I need to take a break from what I'm doing, or that it's a chore, or that it's difficult, or that it's uncomfortable. Everything I'm doing has become a lifestyle for me because everything I want to do, I'm doing already.
Right.
I want to be eating healthy. I want to give my body the best nutrition. I want to be moving all the time. So not doing those things is now what's unusual to me.
Right.
So then I don't ever feel like, oh, I have to be consistent. It's
Yeah.
just normal now.
It's natural to you.
Exactly
to be
that.
consistent.
Yeah. So when I don't eat the way I eat now or move as much as I do, I kind of get the consequences of it. I'll get a lot of body aches, I'll get uncomfortable, I get gut discomfort because my body almost is like tailored for me eating and moving. So when I don't, eating well, eating nutritious, eating gut healthy food and moving, and when I don't do those things, I kind of get consequences of it. So it's just like, oh, I don't like this place. I want to go back to being healthy and all of that sort of thing. So I think it's a mindset shift.
Yeah.
And I imagine that the person that wants to be healthy, the person that wants to make nutritional choices for their gut, for their mental health, what does a day in the life look like for them? A day in the life look like for them like they've meal prepped, they've got all the probiotics in their house already, they've got snacks that they want to eat, they've got a schedule where they keep to their workout routine and their walking routine. So all of those things just help me stay on track. And another thing probably is I will try and be organized so that I'm not left in a situation where I have to make a last minute decision. So that includes the meal prepping, that includes like booking classes before I've had a chance to leave it last minute. And then also I use a lot of tracking apps too. So mostly my watch, my Apple Watch helps me a lot with staying up on my steps. So that's really, really helpful. And then I have my routine, like Sunday is usually a grocery shopping day for me, then I meal prep, then I have everything in the fridge ready, all that sort of thing. So it's almost like automatic now. When I know what I want to achieve and I know what I want that to look like, I put the little steps in place and then it's just a routine.
So what would you say has been your most significant or most impactful lifestyle change that you've made outside of eating and working out, like even in terms of your routine and stuff like that? What's the most important lifestyle change you think you've made that's helped you to be able to sustain it?
I think it's definitely my mindset, to be very honest with you. Moving away from not liking myself purely based on how I looked, changing that and actually rejecting that is what's helped me everything has branched from there. So once I decided that I don't want to be in a mindset where I don't like myself or don't appreciate myself or don't value myself, I want to love myself, appreciate myself, see what I can do, see what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
Through journaling, through counseling, through prayer, through family and friends, through walking, all of that gave me like a healthy mind and a healthy space. And then I was able to make better choices for myself in every avenue of my life. And I think it was definitely the mindset shift of self-love and actually genuinely actively practicing that.
That's amazing. In terms of like also sustaining it, not just within yourself, but the people around you, how important would you say having a good support system is for someone who's on this kind of journey? Because, you know, there's a quote that says, I may misquote this, forgive me, but it's like, if you want to go far, go alone. But if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with people. Now, how having a good support system, how do you think that's affected you and how important do you think it is?
And that's been everything, to be very honest with you. It's been everything. Especially, that's been my mind. I'm from a very close family anyway, like the nucleus in terms of mum, dad, siblings. So we're very, very close as a family anyway. And the value of the friendships that I have, I almost protect my friends and myself and my family like with a fortress. Like, because those people, especially after losing my dad, everyone really showed what they mean to me. And actually that was part of the reason why when I went to med school, I intentionally picked one closest to London, because I knew through turbulent times, I need to be an hour away at the most to people who I know can support me. And that was really key, because there were times which I was very vulnerable when I was in like a lot of pain from losing my dad. So having those people encourage you, having those people be an ear for you, people be there just to go on a walk for you, people to listen to you, people to like support you in every aspect that you need. You know, whether they're just on a a WhatsApp video call with you for an hour.
Yeah.
Or they've sent some flowers to the house, all that sort of thing. Or they're just there to even sometimes vent to.
Yeah.
It's been a good way to also let off steam, and have people understand and sympathize with you. So yeah, that was very key for me. And also, when I was changing the way I eat and my activity, they were also very supportive.
Yeah.
And also very inquisitive to say, oh, so why are you doing that? There wasn't, because there's been family and friends who, obviously I don't associate with those people, but they're the people who be like, oh, what are you eating that lettuce for? Or what are you doing that for? Where they kind of don't want you to do something that maybe they're not capable of doing. So they want to put down your actions and your changes. Whereas I was in an environment where people were either encouraging me or wanting to be involved in what I was doing. So that just let me, learn more and do more and feel that what I was doing was the right thing and not feel like it was me against X, Y, and Z. But instead, like you said, it was like a community achievement.
Yeah, I think being surrounded by people who are supporting what you're doing, regardless of what it is really important.
Oh my gosh.
I think as human beings, like our brain is made up in a way that you want to feel valued and you want to feel like people around you, like what you're doing is making sense. Otherwise, I feel like we all seek validation in a small way. I know we shouldn't, but we're human beings. And if everyone around you speaking negativity into you about something, it's going to be like, oh, maybe what I'm doing is a bit...
I think the key is where do you seek that validation from? And if you seek it from people who have your best intentions, then there's no issue with that.
Yeah.
But if it's people with ulterior motives, then of course not.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Just want to encourage everyone, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and I'll make sure and get to them. But I have a personal question. It's not personal, but a question more, how do I word this? Let me just ask the question. So obviously I'm black. I like Caribbean food. I like Nigerian food. I like eating well. How have you, I don't know whether you enjoy, like, you probably do.
Are you joking?
Right, yeah.
If you're on my channel, the way I go on about shito, I love shito.
Yeah.
Oh my
So as someone who loves our food as black people, now, palm oil, all these kind of things that we're using are probably not the healthiest option. How have you been able to maintain your love for our ethnic food while still being serious about your weight loss journey? Because if it was up to me, I'll be in Enish every single day. I'll be eating pounded jam one day, I'll have egusi one day, I'll have wache another day.
See, actually, those foods you've mentioned aren't bad.
I thought pounded jam was very
So pounded
heavy.
yam is a complex carb, so it's actually okay. The problem is the plate composition. Not even portion, it's the plate composition. On most of our plates, all you have are a few complex carbs, sometimes simple carbs. But like, let me take you on a journey like a plate of jollof. Plate of jollof, most people will have a plate of jollof is heaped with just the jollof.
Maybe some coleslaw on
a piece of chicken over here, and then they'll sprinkle lettuce on there, like, oh, there you go, and it's garnish. Is it really? And it's just like, you lot can't be serious. So no, we don't have to eliminate the jollof. We just have to recompose the plate. A third jollof, a third, because
I'd rather eat white rice.
A third jollof, a third of the meat, and then a third of fibrous vegetables. Like, that is what is missing in our diet. So it's not so much what we need to take away, it's what we need to reintroduce.
Right.
And there's not enough of the fiber. And the fiber actually is what naturally produces the feeling of feeling full, like satiety.
Yes.
Because fibrous foods that's when your gut releases GLP-1, like the Ozempic, the Wegovy. They're synthetic forms of GLP-1. GLP-1 is released naturally from our gut when we have a lot of fiber.
And fiber is what makes you feel fuller.
Fiber is what makes you feel the most.
So when you eat healthier, that's how you stop snacking, I guess, because you're feeling
full. Bring up the fiber.
Wow.
There's just not enough fiber in our diet.
Can you take fiber supplements, or do you have...
Eat the food. Eat the food, please.
What are some fibrous foods?
Because you need broccoli, carrots, cabbage. I love kimchi a lot. Kimchi is probiotic and it's fibrous. So a lot of those kinds of vegetables are going to bring you a lot of fiber. You're going to get it from there. And there's just never enough fiber. Mushroom, artichokes, all of that.
Well, if you go to Auntie's party.
They
There's
need-
not going to be any mushrooms on
Well,
the
that
side.
auntie party, are you going once a week? If you're going,
Okay,
exactly.
true. That is very
Once
true.
every few weeks, it's fine. Don't have to be perfect. But your daily life, we need to just recompose our plates with more fiber in there. And that will, I mean, you'll see people's weights cut in half if they actually genuinely commit to that.
I'm about to implement this into my life. Watch, next time you come, next time that we have a live here, you'll be like, whoa, what happened to Ash? She just shrunk. Okay, I want to ask one more question before we go on a quick break. So when it comes to eating healthily and maintaining like the consistency, how important or how dangerous do you think cheat days are? So I know I've seen so many different opinions online when it comes to a cheat day, where you just want to kind of not binge, but eat something that you've not been having. Now, there's two sides to it. If you're eating in a way that you're content with everything and you're making sure you're implementing stuff that you're having a balanced diet, you won't feel the need, I guess, to have a cheat day. But then at the same time, sometimes I just want the cinnamon roll. Like, how do you feel like it's a good thing to have cheat days, or do you think they should just be avoided and you should just, what do you think?
So this is so funny because I've actually written and filmed a video that I'm going to talk about the concept of cheat days.
Oh, wow.
So I actually find the topic quite interesting because I think cheat days evolved from restriction.
Okay.
I can't have this, I can't have that. And that is why you then feel like, 6-7 days of being good, like, let me get that little snack now. When if your diet is just composed of a nutrient-dense, whole foods, minimally processed foods, you actually genuinely don't have the cravings that would pull you towards wanting a cheat day. And I think this can be hard for people to believe because we live in an environment where ultra-processed foods, they literally hijack our hormones so that we feel compelled to want to eat them. Whereas if you just eat a food that is limits that kind of food, you genuinely won't feel those cravings that pull you towards certain types of foods.
That makes sense.
And then if your diet is balanced anyway, you can have that cinnamon roll and you won't feel like, oh God, end of the month, I'm going to deserve that cinnamon roll. So, and then actually most times when you have very sweet treats, because of how your palate changes when you eat whole foods, nutrient-dense foods, you actually won't, eat the cinnamon and feel like, oh God, this is too sweet.
Yes, that does happen.
So it's just the more you adapt your lifestyle, those cravings go down and you'll be surprised what you feel more like you want to eat. And then also what's even better is when you do then have that cinnamon roll, you won't feel like, I need another one. You'll feel like, oh, I'm okay not to have that again for a while. But you don't get all that until you like commit to changing your nutrition in that way. Because then long term,
used to it.
it genuinely does. It genuinely does.
It's like my mum. My mum eats really healthily, and anytime she eats something or she eats outside, she's like, the salt in this. I'm thinking,
Literally.
what salt are you tasting? I'm even adding salt. But she's got so used to her cabbage and stuff that she just doesn't. She just can't take it. But yeah, I think we're just gonna go on a quick break now. Prepare your questions, guys, so that we can answer when we come back. Hey guys, we are back. So we're gonna delve into a little bit more sciencey stuff, and we're gonna talk about calorie deficits, calorie in, calorie out, what it means to be in a calorie deficit,
Controversial.
and how you. Sorry, is one of the questions? Did you say? Or
No, I said controversial.
Oh right, sorry. Yeah, what it means to be in a calorie deficit and how to maintain one. How do you even calculate it? We just want to know. I feel like I've seen that word everywhere, and to me, a calorie deficit is just eating not to the point of feeling full, like just eating, that's what, this is what I thought it is. So to me, if someone says I need to be eating a calorie deficit, it means, okay, if I usually eat this much, I need to like half it. Mm-hmm. And you don't need to feel like, oh, I'm slumped, I'm full. I need to get to a place where I'm just like, I can stop here. If that makes sense.
Right.
How wrong is that?
Not at all. See, the reason why calorie deficits on my platform has become controversial is because the video I posted that went viral, I said in the intro that, I lost weight when I stopped listening to people telling me to eat in a calorie deficit.
Okay.
And people were losing it, like, what you mean? You have to eat in a calorie deficit to lose weight. It's thermodynamics. And I was just like, I said I stopped listening to people who told me to do that because, and then I explained in the rest of the video, but obviously that may have went over some people's heads.
Because people just listen to the first 10 seconds and start commenting.
But let me explain it once and for all properly. So the premise of a calorie deficit is what you consume has to be less than what you burn.
Okay.
And then obviously the difference is where the weight loss comes in. So if you are burning 1,800 calories, you will eat 1,600 calories, and those 200 calories deficit is where you'll get the weight loss, because X amount of calories equals X amount of pounds, and that's how you lose the weight. But the thing is, a calorie deficit assumes that all foods are equal and all foods will have the exact same impact on your body. And also a calorie deficit also assumes that there isn't anything going on and your body is very, very simple in terms of you've eaten this much, I'm going to burn this much. Both of those things, not only is it wrong, but it's a dynamic system. Your body is like has like a thermostat. It has to work within a gap, so it changes things and modifies things depending on what you put in. So, for example, if we are both trying to lose weight, we both burn 1,800 calories without doing anything. Like that's just our basal metabolic rate. I'm eating 1,600 calories. You're also eating 1,600 calories. But the composition of my food, I haven't measured the calories. I'm just eating probiotic food, which is fermented gut healthy food. I'm also eating fibrous foods, protein rich food. And I'm not eating any foods that have ultra processed ingredients. You're, however, eating anything, but you're counting 1,600 calories. Over a year, I will lose weight and I will sustain the weight loss. Over a year, maybe 3-6 months into it, you'll be eating the 1,600 calories, but you won't be feeling satisfied. You'll still feel hungry. So then every now and then you might eat 1,700, then 1,800. So you're maintaining your deficit will be very difficult for you because of what you are eating, mostly ultra processed foods, that sort of thing. The reason why you are feeling so difficult to maintain it is because this is what's going on behind the scenes. The foods you are eating is causing your glucose to be elevated. When your glucose is elevated, your insulin is elevated. Insulin is doing two things. It has to move the glucose into your cells, and it also has to store fat because it's trying to just remove as much glucose as much out of it as your blood as possible. But because your diet is ultra processed, you constantly have insulin raised. Insulin is what causes cravings. Insulin is what causes food noise. And then insulin...
So what's food noise?
When you're constantly thinking about food. You've eaten, but the food is still on your mind.
Yeah.
And you're like, I just had a Big Mac with, I don't know, 3 portions of fries, however many nuggets, but I'm still starving.
I'm still thinking about the cinnamon roll.
You've met your 1,600 calories, but like, why am I still hungry? Like, this should have been enough food for me. Whereas me, on the other hand, my food is nutrient dense, my food is fiber rich. So I'm getting natural signals telling me I've had enough to eat now. I'm getting that GLP-1's getting released, the ghrelin is coming down. All those hormones are in control because of the composition of what I've eaten. Now, the magic is, even if I was to eat 1,800 calories,
But you're still eating like the way you're eating.
The reason why I can still lose weight, even if I eat 1,800 calories, is because my body can raise my 1,800 burning to 2,000. So in fact, I can shift where the deficit is because of the composition of my food. And because I can increase leptin sensitivity, where my body can measure, they're carrying this much excess weight, so they can burn more. So we're going to burn more. Whereas your diet, the insulin is still blocking the leptin. Even though you're eating less than 1,600 calories.
What you're consuming is important.
Exactly. And then what can happen is, because your body, the leptin is not being measured properly, your body will think you're overweight. Your brain is measuring low levels of leptin because insulin is always in the way. So then your body will drop your metabolism to maybe 1,600 now, but you're eating 1,600, which means you have to eat even less.
Even less.
And then even less and even less and even less. All because the composition of what you're eating doesn't allow you to sustain the calorie deficit.
So eating foods that help your metabolism is the goal, basically.
Exactly that.
I didn't know you could speed up your metabolism. See,
Yeah.
I thought metabolism had to do with like genetics. Because
No. There is a space for genetics.
Okay.
But your space for genetics still applies. So if my genetics means that I will only ever be able to achieve 10 stone weight, a normal weight of 10 stone, that my genetics plays a role. But I'm still hovering around 16, 17 stone. That genetics isn't involved in that element. That's environment. So if there's 5 people, they're all 17 stone, and their genetics plays a role. What that means is maybe if we all try to lose weight, the best I could do is 11 stone. The best you can do is 13 stone. The best you can do is 10 stone. That's where genetic comes in.
Right.
But in terms of the environment that has led us all to be 17, 18, overweight, obese, a stronger role in that is our environment over our genetics. So both play a role, but what we can change is our environment. We can't change our genetics. That's how it is.
So is the speed of your metabolism connected to genetics at all?
No, it is. It is definitely.
Okay, it is.
But there is also an element where we can manage it. So like I can maybe, with all my diet and all my nutrition, maybe the best I can get my metabolism is to 2,500 where I'm not doing anything. You know, in terms of like, what's this swimmer's name? What's the swimmer that's won all the gold, everything?
A male or female?
Yes, Michael Phelps. Oh my God, what a joke.
I was never going to get that.
So Michael Phelps has like a larger wingspan than the average person. But everyone can train to get to the Olympics, to win silver, to win gold. But he's also he's always gonna have that. But that doesn't mean there's not silver medalists, got bronze medalists, and then you don't train hard.
Yeah.
He didn't win everything just because he has a wider wingspan. He won because he trains 7 days a week. He has a very particular diet. All of that is environment. So, of course, genetics was there, but everything else is not diminished, and everything else was involved in his achieving what he achieved. In the same way with us, my genetics might mean that, I have more hips and that sort of thing, but it doesn't mean I still can't lose weight.
Yeah.
It just means maybe my gap of weight loss is different from your gap of weight loss, but we can still achieve it.
Yeah. I think metabolism has always been such a weird thing to me because I've got friends who can literally... I've got this one particular friend, she can eat whatever.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, we go for dinner, guys, I kid you not, she'll 3 meals. She'll pick 3 different mains and she can eat it and she'll stay slim. I'm just like, me and my one small meal have really got to run when I get home to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, some people were dealt very different cards.
Very different cards. Very different cards. And on top of that, we can worsen our metabolism through our diet too, though.
Right.
Yeah, so my years and years and years of yo-yo dieting would have obliterated my metabolism because it would have kept lowering because it was thinking that I was underweight because of the whole leptin resistance. So it wasn't until I changed my gut health, rewired my entire diet, that all of those hormonal changes would have happened to improve my overall health and then fix my metabolism. Like right now, when I measured my metabolism at my gym, and they have this,
that?
I didn't even know.
I didn't know you can measure
They
that.
put me on this machine and they were like, hold these bars, look straight ahead. And they were like, when you're doing nothing, you burn 1,500 calories. I was like, oh, okay. And that's
good or
improved.
bad?
No, well, for me, it was average. It was
Okay.
good. It was the average. I had a decent muscle mass. So they were like, yeah, for you, that's really good. And I was just like, oh, I would have thought that was low. But they're like, no, that's good, actually. For your muscle mass to metabolism, that's actually normal.
What's your opinion on BMI, randomly? Because
Mixed and controversial again, I guess.
I've never understood that.
So
BMI thing.
I think originally BMI was based off like 6 white men in America somewhere.
Probably.
And it just is just like obviously the ethnic diversity of the world is so vast. The fact that we're all measured against, I don't know, 4 random Dutch people somewhere. I don't know, but it's just, so it doesn't make sense. But it doesn't make sense to a point. It doesn't make sense if you're using it to measure the average weight person who carries more weight on their hips because the dangerous fat on our body is visceral fat. That's the fat that's around our organs.
Yeah.
And that is a better measure of your health. So probably waist circumference is a better measurement of health than overall BMI. But BMI does have a role to play if it's a measure of excess fat when you're over a certain threshold. So when you're over the, like where I was hovering at my top weight, then it's a fair enough assessment because the majority of my weight wouldn't have been muscle or bone mass. It would have been fat mass. So that makes sense. But once we're all within the, I don't know, 70 kilos, 80 kilos space, it doesn't make sense as a measure because I could be 80 kilos, you could be 80 kilos, but 50 of my kilos are on my thighs. So I could actually technically be my lungs and my liver and my kidneys are in better shape because there's not all this fat around them because it's all down in my lower hips. So I think it's only a good measurement if it's accompanied by other measurements too. And then it makes sense. And I remember I had so many years of thinking, oh, my BMI is not good, I'm not healthy, I'm not this. And there's other measurements need to be included. Unless you're over a certain threshold, then it makes sense because unless you're Arnold Schwarzenegger, half your weight isn't muscle, is it?
Yeah.
It's probably something else.
That makes sense.
You're not big boned. You know what I mean?
Right. Aunties love that statement. You know, my mum used to tell me that all the time. She'd be like, "You're not big." She's like, "You're just big boned." And I'm just like, right. There's no such thing. I want to focus to a few of the questions here. Someone asked, "What are the foods to lower blood sugar, and how do I improve my metabolism? It's very slow. Walking does not improve my metabolism."
Oh, gosh, walking doesn't improve your metabolism. Sorry. I would say foods that lower your blood sugar are definitely the fibrous foods.
Okay.
So if you want to eat a lot of fibrous foods, the carrots, the broccoli, the cabbages, the probiotic foods are also really good in lowering your blood sugar because of the changes that they also have in your gut. And also you want to concentrate on the order in which you eat your food. Because if you eat the fibrous food first, followed by the protein, followed by the carbs, it slows down that food passing into your bloodstream. So then you won't get a crazy glucose spike because your body has to digest the fiber first, then digest the protein before it digests the carbs. So the carb is the last thing to enter your bloodstream. So it lowers your spike. And another thing that does that is if you take vinegar. So I know the glucose goddess spoke about this quite a lot. Vinegar contains acetic acid, and what it does is basically it paralyzes your amylase. Amylase is the enzyme that breaks down glucose. So carbohydrates. So it paralyzes it. So then when you're eating, half of your carbs will take much longer to be digested. So that also lowers your blood sugar. So order of which you eat your food.
So you say eat carbs first?
Carbs last.
Oh, you're saying
Eat
fiber
carbs
first,
last.
then
Fiber, protein, carbs.
Okay, right.
And then, so that would all help. And then when you do that over time, maintaining low insulin level will actually eventually increase your metabolism if your body measures that you have excess body weight. And then,
Hopefully,
yeah, so if the walking will help if the walking is also done after the meals. So like within an hour of eating, you should do a short walk, even in your house on the spot. I do it all the time. I'm watching my favorite K-drama. I'm just walking on the spot. And like I said before, that your muscles will take up glucose without the use of insulin, and that over time keeps your glucose low, so it keeps your insulin low. That's going to support your blood sugar and raise your metabolism. So I hope that helps, Nicola Coley.
Someone asked what are the best tips to help with constant snacking, but I feel like you spoke about that quite a bit in terms of eating fiber so that you feel full.
Yeah, eating fiber so you feel full, but obviously sometimes you are going to be hungry. So what are those snacks? Snacking isn't necessarily bad. If you have a window in which you're eating, snacking's not the end of the world, because you want to rest your gut continuously. So if you want to rest your gut continuously, like say you fast 12 hours and you eat 12 hours, within your 12-hour window, it's not the end of the world to snack. But like, what are you snacking on? Are you snacking on nuts? Are you snacking on fruit? Are you snacking on like fibrous things like popcorn, like salted popcorn? Snacking on those kinds of things is fine. It's
salted popcorn is fibrous?
Yeah, very high. It's like my favorite snack.
I love popcorn. This is great news.
So I wouldn't say not to snack. I said, what are you snacking on and when are you snacking?
What do you think of getting weight loss meds online? I've seen some
don't do that.
Ozempic adverts. I'll be real, guys.
I've been approached.
I've
been DM'd.
Really?
Yeah, I've been DM'd for them to tell me, can you tell people you use this so that we can promote through you?
Stop it, Ryan. You know, these people need to be
It's the Wild
arrested
West
and
out there.
charged.
It's Wild West. It's very dangerous. And also it tells
So
you their
scary.
motivation.
Yeah, they just want money.
So
I think a lot of companies...
It's not safe at all. I would definitely say, do not do that.
Yeah.
Don't go for any medication online, in fact.
If you're going to get meds, go to the GP.
Yeah,
Like,
there's a reason why your doctor spent however many years in medical school.
Yeah.
They got their pharmacy license. It's their job to understand and know why they're prescribing things for you. So please go to them for those things.
Please. Someone said, do you ever or did you ever struggle with emotional eating? If so, what are your best tips to have a better relationship with food? Before you answer this, emotional eating is honestly such a real thing. Like, it's you can be going, like, I was literally speaking to Dr. Emma before when I lost someone last year. I was just, I don't know what it is. I don't know if food gives you endorphins or what it is, but
it does.
I just feel like if I'm feeling sad, let me just go and eat something. Maybe I'm hungry. You're not hungry, sis.
Emotional
Put the burger
eating.
down. You're not hungry.
No. It's absolutely
it's
a real response to emotional events. Like, because when we eat, when we are when we are feeling like sad or anything like that, it's also a stress response, and stress releases cortisol, and that encourages you to eat like sugary food because your body is perceiving a threat, so your body wants to have the fuel to be able to combat that threat, which is why we then feel like, oh, we need to eat something sugary or something high fat because that's the quickest way to get energy. So it's not like a figment of your imagination. There's a real like biological process going on.
It's so funny how there's a scientific reason for everything.
There literally is.
Because the other night I was doing a uni assignment. I had like 2 hours to finish it, and I was just trying to find everything sweet in the house. That cupboard was dry. Like, I literally sent my friend a picture. I'm telling you, at 3 a.m. in the morning, I was eating sweet barbecue wings and sweet potato fries. I didn't need that. I wasn't even hungry.
So I have struggled with it, and I actually still struggle with it sometimes now. But the way I've kind of mitigated that for myself is I've made the options that I will, when I have those emotional events, I've made my options very healthy and nutritious. So I'll have like peanut butter with some berries. So
Peanut butter is good.
Yeah, so I'm not necessarily reaching for a chocolate bar and things like that. I'm having the emotional event, and I'm just like, I know what I'm going through, I know why I'm going through it, but I'm gonna have peanut butter instead. I'm gonna have some nuts instead. So it's almost like even when I'm not my best, I've made my options as best as they can be. So yeah, so that's how I work through that. So I would say make your options so that the easiest option is the best option. And then in terms of having a better relationship with food, that happened for me more organically when I realized that some foods when I ate them, it wasn't making me feel good. And I just thought to myself, I want this food to give me nutrients. I want this food to give me energy. I want this food to be enjoyable. And I don't want this food hijacking my hormones. So when I then pivoted towards natural, whole foods, better foods, that repaired my relationship with food, because I didn't think of food as bad and good. I thought of food as nutrient or not nutrient dense, or helping my body thrive, not helping my body thrive. And that's how I kind of improved my relationship with food. And it also started with improving my relationship with how I viewed myself. And then that then informed everything else. Someone's asked, do you intermittent fast? I do, actually.
That was going to be my last question. I was going to ask you about what you think about intermittent fasting.
Oh, I'm a massive advocate.
What times?
Yeah. Okay, so that changes from person to person.
Okay.
Some people prefer to do intermittent fasting where they'll go a day, 2 days, and
without
then,
eating?
yeah. To me, that's leaning on the extreme.
That's leading on some sort of something.
I intermittent fast mostly, I would say 12, 13 hours. So a few hours before I go to bed and a few hours after I've woken up. So, and then through my sleep. So that usually looks like 12 to 13 hours. And then the remaining 11 or 12 hours, that's the window I'll eat in. And so it's really important to intermittent fast. I know a lot of people do it mostly because they want to control their calorie consumption. I do it more so to allow my gut to rest, because a lot of the microbes in there can't do their job. They need that rest time to be able to, break down your fiber, to be able to improve your gut wall lining. All of that happens when you give them at least 12 hours to do that job. That's the main reason why I intermittent fast. And that actually long-term helps control your appetite too. And also it allows them to extract more nutrients from your food. So then you don't need to rely on things like supplements, because you're getting it all out of your food. Yeah.
I don't know if there's any more. I don't think there's any more questions here, but I have 2 more questions. My first question is, how has being because your weight loss journey started before you started medicine, right?
Kind of. Well, I've had weight loss journeys my whole life, but but yeah, the most recent that brought all of this is from med school. That's right, just before.
And how has being a med student affected the way you viewed or the way you went about it?
Okay, so it's affected it in 2 ways. One, it helped me because it helped me answer a lot of the science. Like I went off and did my own research a lot, and also I attended an obesity conference.
Oh, okay.
In uni, and it was attended by like world leading experts, Dr. Giles Yeo, Dr. Rachel Batherman, Dr. Jean Adams, and Mr. R. Ahmed, bariatric surgeon, geneticist, and food environment, and one who was particular on gut health. All these doctors basically constantly see patients who have overweight or obese symptoms in terms of their health and disease. And they were all speaking about it. And at the end, I was just like, they very much made it seem as if you're not getting weight loss surgery or weight loss drugs, it's going to be impossible for you to do this. So then I said, well, how about if I want to do it naturally? Like, what's my options? And Dr. Giles Yeo actually answered, and he said that, well, if you slow down gastric emptying through the foods you eat, you can basically mimic what's happening with the drugs and the surgery. And when I tell you that was the spark, I deep dived to the depths of the ocean to read up and find out about everything. And that just took me on so many different journeys in terms of gut health, hormonal health. So med school was definitely impactful for that side of it. And then on the other side of it, where it's like on a public health platform, it just feels like we're not being taught enough almost as medics to be able to help the general population, especially with where things are going in terms of the majority of us are going to be overweight or obese. So that also then inspired me to just share more and do what I can in terms of educating people to understand their health. So yeah, med school was definitely pivotal in both of those avenues.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I feel like it's interesting though when you have when you're going on a journey but you've got the science behind it, helps you understand it more and kind of make sense of what's going on rather than just doing what people on TikTok are telling you. Literally. I don't know if there's any questions on here that I missed. I don't think so. Are there any things about weight loss that you would like to dispel? Any myths that you feel like people, or stuff that you see pop up on social media and just like, y'all are just talking like this is
Oh my gosh, one that used to trigger me. One that I heard was, if you start losing weight and you feel cold, that's normal. It's okay to feel a little bit cold.
See, I saw that, but what I heard is that I don't know if this is going to be triggering for anyone, but when you have an eating disorder, like people who have anorexia and stuff like that, you feel cold when you don't eat. That's what I saw. I've seen that on TikTok.
You do feel cold, but it's not normal.
Right.
You're not supposed to be feeling cold because as humans, our heat is generated through our metabolism. So that's why your muscles are contracting to make you feel warm. So if you're feeling cold, it means your metabolism is dropping. If your metabolism is dropping, you're going to just gain weight eventually. So actually feeling cold is an indication that your metabolism is going down. Because people assume that, oh, the excess fat made me feel warm. But that would then assume that everyone who is slim walking around is just cold. We're not polar bears. We don't get our warmth. No, we get our heat from our muscles contracting. So if you're feeling cold, your metabolism is dropping, you need to find a way to bring it back up through what you eat. So yeah, feeling cold and losing weight is a red flag that is going in the wrong direction. So yeah, that's what I wanted to dispel because I used to,
that would
really upset me.
I think someone asked, would it be possible to find out more resources and research you've used?
Yeah.
I'm not sure used for what specifically, but...
So obviously I've read quite a lot.
Okay.
And on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram page, I will leave more links and under the comments and things like that. Because I don't have like a formal website where I've put everything. But I do usually link things in the comments of my YouTube channel when I'm talking about this kind of scientific stuff. But one book I would say everyone should probably read is Dr. Andrew Jenkinson's Why We Eat Too Much. That talks a lot about what I've spoken about too.
Talking about that, have you seen that girl on TikTok? The one who's just like, eat less. Like, she's gone viral right now. You've not seen it?
No.
So you can't comment on it if you've not seen her. She's like, I can't remember her name, but she's like a fitness person. And she's going on live every day. Basically saying like, she's like, people are asking me how to lose weight, eat less. She's very like blunt with the way that she says things, but it's very interesting.
Oof, a lot of people who don't understand how. And also, that's another thing though. Eat less will only work for so long because of what I've told you. If what you are eating isn't supporting your hormonal health. So yeah, you can lose weight in half a year.
And
will you sustain it for the next half? I don't know about that.
And she doesn't believe in intermittent fasting and stuff like that. Yeah.
See, her gut is screaming, help me.
I'm going to send you her page after this.
Her gut is fighting for its life, I'll tell you right now.
Oh gosh. Is there anything else that you would like to share? Anything specific you want to talk about? Anything that we've not covered that you feel like is useful?
I mean, I think parting words, I'll just say that improving your waistline or improving your health, trying to reduce excess weight doesn't have to be a challenge. You're not training for the Navy SEALs, Walk after your meals, introduce whole foods, minimally processed foods into your diet, and you will see change. Limit those ultra processed foods, eat fermented food, eat food that is targeted towards improving your gut, and walk after your meals, you will see change if you commit to that.
That is some good parting words that I'm going to implement.
That's my sister at the bottom.
Well, thank you so much, Alex. I really appreciate it. I'm sure that everyone can attest to the fact that we have learnt a lot. We've got some gems to go with. And I'm excited to see everybody's journey after this. Because I will be starting my own. Resuming my own even.
I love that.
And this time with a new approach.
Yes.
I'm going to think about probiotics. I'm going to take my supplements. But I'm not going to... focus on those. I'm going to try and eat the food with the supplements.
Diet plate, recompose that plate.
Reduce my jollof rice. Reduce my rice and peas. Just one oxtail bone. And we'll see how that goes. But thank you so, so much for being with us today.
It was my absolute pleasure. I'm such a big fan of House Medics. So.
Me too. I'm also a fan. It's even a privilege to be. And we will see you guys in the next live. Make sure to continue to watch this, share it. People can rewatch it afterwards and continue to connect with us. And I'm sure there'll be more useful lives to come.
Yay.
Bye, everyone.